Welcome everyone, my name is Molly, and welcome to the BYB Insider. And here is your host, the big guy.
Hello everybody, and welcome once again to the internet's #1 rated show. This is the BYB Insider, and as Molly has told you, I am your host, the big guy. Weeks 5 and week 6, BYB season. The charge for Molly is well underway. Who's going to win and who's going to fall off the sin wagon? We're going to find that out in no time flat because we're going right now. All right, kids, we start off with the UPS and the Pound Town boys going at it. Let's kick this off with the Pound Town. And as we take a look at the first offensive side, we come up with Aaron Rodgers with a nice 24-point game. Decent show out of the running backs, but Roddy White and Victor Cruz, MIA maybe? On the flip side, Bobby Wagner kicked in with some nice points, but the rest of the guys chipped in with some mediocre scores. And as we go to the UPS guys, would that end up hurting Pound Town? Well, folks, when you land up with 20 points from Andrew Luck and 16 points from A.J. Green before the turf toe reared its ugly head, it leads up to a bad omen, but the omen becomes a absolute bad feeling when Julius Thomas and Alec Ogletree lands with scores like that. And that's exactly what happened to the Pound Town boys. They lose it. 110.5 to 93. We're moving on. The Black Angels and the A-Team, the Angels, rocking their fourth alternates as we take it to their side. And as we look here, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Kerry Robinson with a decent game. Hopkins scored well. Jeremy Macklin led the way for the Angels with 20 points. But when you flip it around to the other side, you come up with the power outage. As Malcolm Jenkins and Mike Nugent both kind of disappeared, would it end up hurting the Angels? Well, as you look at the A-Team, you better believe it. Hello, Andre Ellington and Demarius Thomas, 42 points and 30 respectively. Jay Cutler, big 22-point game. And as you flip it around here, Levante David and Harrison Smith just continued the score train, and it led to a laugher for the A-Team as they dismantled the Angels. 155.5 to 106. We're moving on with Let Me Kick and Boom Jesco White. The Boom Boys on a rough patch here, and as we look inside their box scores, it looked promising, except Matt Asiata and Chris Johnson. Where or could you have gone? Where could you be? And Bruce Carter also continued that trend. Clinton Dix. It just had to be said. As you flip it around, Charlie Brown's Let Me Kick boys, and Charlie Brown got the hammer from Peyton Manning, 38 points. Le'Veon Bell, 16, and Shane Vereen kicking in, and Meth Welker. Flip it around, Larry Donnell with a disappearing act, but Paul Postluzny picked up the slack, and it picked up the Let Me Kick boys into a win. 118 to 108 over Boom Jesco. The slide continues. As we continue on as well with the Cobra Kai, the defending world champions, and the Guild. Let's take it to the Guild side for Michael Evans. It was Phillip Rivers, 26. Marshawn Lynch with a big 22-point game, but you look at C.J. Spiller, Allen, little light in the loafers, folks. And as you flip it around, it got no better for the Guild as they got hardly anything out of the tight end and the defensive spots. Would that open the door for the Kais? Yes, it would. And Mr. Cobra Kai, Jared Taylor's walking right through, folks. 21 points, 13 from Taylor. Sanders, everybody kicking in, and as you flip it around, it got no better for the Guild as Paul Warlow kicked in with 11.5, and it was just enough to get the Cobra Kais through said door and to a victory. 98 to 81, the Guild suffering their first loss on the season. As we go to the Marys and the Outs, the Marys trying to climb back into it, the Outs just trying to find some action in the game, and the Marys is going to find it behind Eli Manning. Who? That's right, that Eli Manning with 20 points Arian Foster also chipping in with a big 30-point game. Antonio Gates comes in rather handily with 22 points, and Morgan Burnett kicks in on the defensive side with a big 13.5 game. Would Mark Muncy and the Outs have an answer? Yes, they would. Matt Ryan with a little light game, 15 points, but Eddie Lacy comes from fantasy slumber to kick in with some huge points. C.J. Mosley also gets into the act, but Jarius Byrd and Nick Novak and Fletcher Cox and Martellus Bennett disappeared, and it costed them big as the Marys get over 126 to 105.5 as we come to the game of the week. Presented by Pyrotech, the Grudge Max par excellence. The Sex Panthers and the McConnell Mud Dogs. Tommy Quick's been talking about this game since the preseason as we take it to the Sex Panther side, and Larry Dameron was ready to blaze with Kaepernick Forte, big 31-point. Des Bryant, 23-point game. As you take it to the flip side, Luke Kuechly with a big 13-point game, but Steven Gostkowski kicked his way to a 21-point game. Could Tommy Quick have an answer? And in a word, absolutely. Hello, Russell Wilson. 38 points. DeMarco Murray doing what DeMarco Murray's been doing. And Vincent Jackson from the land of the dead with 22 points. Greg Olson kicking in with 25. And speaking of crazy kickers, Phil Dawson with 20 points of his own. And it led to the Mud Dogs shocking the Panthers 155-5 to 145-5.
Welcome to the War Room. Our guest is Tommy Quick. Big guy, why would you bring bad luck to our show?
Oh, Molly, why are you so hard on people? That's just not nice. But as Molly has told you, welcome to the War Room, and we have a special guest here on the BYB Insider 6000. It's Tommy Quick. Tommy, what's going on, my man?
Oh man, things are great right now in Mud Dog World. We just took out the 6 giraffes, 6 gophers, whatever they are. Hey, we took them out in style. Look how pretty. Look at that jawline. I'm so pretty.
So you called him out at the beginning of the season, right in the pre-draft show. You said that Larry Dameron was going to be your number one opponent that you wanted to gun for. So you got him and you beat him. So tell the BYB Nation, how does it feel?
See, the Mud Dogs set out with some small goals. The first go was, we looked down, seen in week 5 that we had that sorry team from, he moved the franchise now, didn't he? Scared, moved him. He moved it, whatever. We looked down, seeing that we that's who we wanted. That's who we're going for. Year in, year out, wait to play Larry. Hey, it's just like Yankees and Boston.
So Tommy, you're still looking for 2 games in a row. It hasn't happened for a long time, but you're looking good and your record's looking sharp so far. So what should we expect? Can we find the Mud Dogs in perhaps the A playoff and maybe even vying for a chance at the end of this year?
You're going to see the Mud Dogs win the championship right now. Mark it down, put it down, just like I said at the first of the season, taking out the 6 Gophers, marking this down, Mud Dogs will be your champions this year. Because look at that. So pretty.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Tommy Quick. He's on the BYB Insider 6000. Tommy, brother, thanks for coming on to the show.
No problem, man. Hey, thanks for having me, big guy. How about big guy pulling through with the show, the last show after the heart attack? Good job, brother.
So the Mud Dogs are looking to gain that elusive 2-game-in-a-row winning streak, and the rest of the league is trying to keep pace with everybody else with a standing so bunched up. Who's going to break out of the pack? and take control, and who is going to fall by the wayside. It's week 6 of the BYB. Here we go. All right, kiddies, week 6, and we start off with the aforementioned McConnell Mud Dogs. They came in to face Michael Evans and the Guild, and we started off with the Mud Dogs side as Russell Wilson disappearing act. But DeMarco Murray, Marshall, and Mike Wallace, and even Trent Richardson, hello, all scored in double digits. Greg Olson got into the act, but as you look at the backside here, you see where the power outage occurred for the McConnell Mud Dogs. We flip it over to the Guild side, and no such problems here as Phillip Rivers hooked it up with 31 points. CJ Spiller, though, -2, but Andre Johnson and 37 points for T.Y. Hilton. And on the backside, you see Zach Ertz and Vaughn Miller, and even the new kicker, Mason Crosby, kicking in with double-digit scores. It led to the Mud Dogs still not being able to pull off the 2 for 141-118. They go down. We're moving on. It's the 3 and outs, and the UPS boys, the 2014 champions, as we bring it to the 3 and outside, and Mark Muncy on a slide. And as we look here, some mediocre scores, but there's Eddie Lacy is, can we dare say, back to normal with only 4 points. You flip it around, Martellus Bennett came in, but mediocre scores all the way around. But then when you come into the UPS side, these guys don't know the term mediocre. Welcome Andrew Luck, LaShawn McCoy, Ronnie Hillman, Edelman, Ruben Randles, all double-digit scores. And as you flip it around to the defensive side, Julius Thomas kept the hit parade going with Wilkerson and Kason following suit as the UPS hands the 3 and outs a beatdown. 141-101. We're moving on. It's the Cobra Kai's and the Let Me Kick Charlie Brown's bunch. Cobra Kai's continuing to fight for first place as we dive inside the box score. And Tony Romo, Giovanni Bernard, Fred Jackson were all teamed up to help that happen. The wide receiver side a little weak for Jared Taylor's bunch. You flip it around, and there he is again, J.J. Watt. 25.5 made up for a mediocre backside, and Charlie Brown's Let Me Kick boys just didn't have much in the way of an answer as Meth Welker fell off the face of the planet. Ridley found his way on the IR, and Peyton Manning, though, kept in with 27 points, but you flip it around, and only Dan Bailey decided to show up, and it led to a Let Me Kick dismemberment. 119-83.5. Jared Taylor keeps in first place, kids. Can anybody stop him? Speaking of being stopped, it's Boom Jessica White on a massive slide coming in to face the Marys. And the Marys, well, welcome back Arian Foster. And Deshaun Jackson and Randall Cobb all teamed up. Darren Sproles got 10 before he met the ambulance. And you flip it around, Gates came through with a good score as well as Matt Bryant. Was that enough to put down the Boom Boys? In a word, yeah. But at least Nick Foles had 16, and Julio was down by the schoolyard with only 11, but the rest of the team completely disappeared. And you flip it around, Gronkowski and the Road Warrior James Laurinaitis came in with some nice scores, but it just was not enough as the Marys walk over easily. 119.5 to 79.5. We go to the Angels and the Pound Town boys. This one should be a classic free-for-all, and it lived up to the building as we take it to the Pound Town side. Aaron Rodgers and Ben Tate, hello, with Golden Tate as well chiming in, but Roddy and Frank Gore, remember that Frank Gore score, kiddies, coming in a little low. You flip it around, Witten found double digits for the first time this year. Would Pound Town have enough to hold off the Black Angels? In a word, no. Stafford weak, but Brandon Oliver welcome to the team with 22 points. Mohamed Sanu, another newcomer, cranking down 28. You flip it around, Willie Young and newcomer Chandler Catanzaro. came up with enough as the Black Angels survived 111 to 108.5. And we come to the game of the week presented by Pyrotech. This one, folks, was an absolute free-for-all. The A-Team come in to face Larry Dameron and the Sex Panthers. Lots of trash talk in this one, too, as the Panthers chimed in, calling Kaepernick and Matt Forte and Jordy Nelson. Massive point totals. Dez chimed in with 10 points. A little weak there from Andre Williams. But you flip it around to the defensive side, even Luke Kuechly and Steven Gostkowski again in double figures. The Sex Panthers had a lock for a win, but the A-Team does what the A-Team do. Hello, Jay Cutler, Andre Ellington, Bradshaw, Demarius Thomas, 28 points, Antonio Brown with 18, and you flip it around and the news did not get any lighter for Larry Dameron as Cameron David Jones and even Justin Tucker, the kicker, all in double-digit points, and it led to an absolute victory for the A-Team, 164.5 to 156.5 in an absolute shootout. So that's going to do it for this edition of the BYB Insider. We hope you enjoyed. We got more coming because the road to Dina is well up on the way. And unfortunately for everybody involved watching this show, the road to Dina runs right through the BYB Insider, and we're going to be here to cover every step of the way. But for this step, we stepped it. We're out. We'll see you in a couple weeks as the road to Dina chugs on.
Thanks for watching the BYB Insider. Please join us again in 2 weeks for another exciting episode as we continue the quest for the Dinah Spencer Trophy.